Hello everyone, Artemir the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing Pokémon Emerald. Yeah, it's been quite a while since the last time, hasn't it? Last time we took on the Battle Factory, and while we didn't manage to beat him, we managed to get to the leader of the Battle Factory, Nolan. So that was very cool. This time we're going to be taking on another facility at the Battle Factory. But before we do that, we're back here in Dewford Town, because you can see here in our match call, we have a score to settle with Brawly. He has called us out on a challenge, and I wish to do so. But before we go challenge him, there is someone that I want to introduce before we go into this fight. Someone that I am very excited to get to use in future battles. Say hello to the new and improved quarterback. I've been training this guy up in between sessions, and I managed to finally get him fully evolved. This is a pretty great Pokemon. Salamence is just boosting with power. Just very high attack, great speed. It learns a lot of fantastic moves. I feel like this rematch would be a good time to actually get to show him off. And just show just what an immense powerhouse Salamence is. Yeah, we can let Armstrong take a little break here because, I mean, we're going into a fighting gym, so rock skill isn't really going to be the best. Before I do this, I am going to give our Dragon Claw TM to quarterback here. There's really no one else I could really see me giving this move to. We'll give her a Dragon Breath. The move is nice because it has a chance of paralysis, but I think just the power from Dragon Claw will be more than sufficient. Alright, seems like we got everything set up for this little challenge. Hey bud, what's up? Yeah, it is bright in here. Luckily, we don't really have to deal with the gym puzzle in this area here, since we've already cleared the gym out once. But yeah, it's time to see what a new and improved gym leader's like in the Hoenn region. A wave may drop back, but it always returns to the shore. A giant wave of a talent like you, I knew you would return. Show me how much higher you've gone! This is the first of hopefully many gym leader rematches in this playthrough. Gym leader rematches are now in double battle format. This definitely changes things up since last time. His Machop from our first battle is now a Machamp, and his Meditite is still unevolved. Okay, what I want to do here, Harlequin is really not going to be useful here, so we'll have quarterback focus on the Machamp, and we'll swap you out for Beetlejuice, because he is completely immune to fighting type moves. Yeah, Psychic, he should be very useful in this area. Alright, Meditite's mainly for support there with that light screen. We're not really going to be focusing on special moves here, especially with this team setup. Meditite being part Psychic, it's a good opportunity to use Shadow Ball. And yeah, this is just kind of how the gym rematches go. So unfortunately, the levels here aren't too high, all things considered. So every time you rematch a specific gym leader, their teams will increase in power, they will get higher level Pokemon, they'll add new Pokemons to their team. But for the time being, it's really not all that much of a challenge. See, he's got a Hitmontop here, so he's already using new Pokemon not normally found in the Hoenn region. And his final Pokemon is Hariyama, the evolved form of the Makuhita that was his ace back in our first battle with him. Yeah, this guy's got Fake Out, just... I don't know about you, but I always liked Hariyama, just such a neat design. It's fairly unique in terms of playstyle compared to other fighting type Pokemon too, which is much more bulky. That belly drum there is really not going to help you if I manage to land this fly quarterback. Oh, he's going for Focus Punch. Really hope we can land this. Also, Beetle, come on. There we go. Belly drum can be a very scary move if you get to actually pull it off well. It's definitely one of those moves that gets a lot more use in competitive, for a lot of reasons. Alright, down to one final Pokemon. And yeah, we're pretty much good for this. If you could stop using Protect here, it's the only thing this Hitmontop has. Do you know any actual moves, buddy? Let's just finish you off, and there we go. Wow, swamped again. Battling is fast and it's deep. Can't see the bottom, just like the Sea of Hoenn. So yep, that's what a gym battle rematch is like in the Hoenn region. I must say I much prefer the gym leader rematches in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think they do that incredibly well in terms of just the strength of the gym leaders, a new team, and just seeing all these new Pokemon that I get to use. Here in Emerald, it's just alright. See if doing that triggered any more rematches. So in between sessions, I also had some rematches with Wally. You will actually see from here if he wants to rematch. Alright, Breeder Isaac wants to battle. That would be very helpful when I decide to bring another Pokemon that I want to show off for some battles in the future, but for now, let's just focus on the main thing I want to do in this session. Thank you for your assistance, quarterback. We may see some more use out of you very soon. Alright, time to get into the main event of this stream session. We are heading back to the Battle Frontier in order to challenge a new facility. So we took on the Battle Factory last time. So what are we going after this time? Just over here, or to the northeast of the Pokemon Center here, we have the Battle Arena. In the Battle Arena, the order of Pokemon is totally important. For example, if your first Pokemon has certain type disadvantages, try making your second Pokemon one with moves that are super effective against the first one. I found that a good way of making an effective team. I lost on the referee's decision, and I think it was a good idea to only use defensive moves and not attack. I won in judging. Landing hits consistently on the opponent's Pokemon worked. Our match was declared a draw. We ran out of time, both my Pokemon and the opponents had about the same amount of HP left. So this place will be very familiar if you remember the Volibear Battle Tent. We have set KO tourney rules here, where the battling spirit of traitors is put to the test. I welcome you to the Battle Arena. I'm your guide to the set KO tourney. Battle Arena offers 2 levels of challenge, level 50 and open level. If we select level 50 here, you do not have 3 Pokemon required for entry. To qualify, you must bring 3 different kinds of Pokemon. 3 different Pokemon must all be level 50 or lower. They also must not hold the same kinds of items. Eggs and Rayquaza are ineligible. We made your preparations, please return. Yeah, they got some restrictions here for us. Luckily, I do have a Pokemon that's level 50, but so we're gonna have to go with open level. This makes it so that the opponents you fight will be the same level as the highest level Pokemon that you select for the challenge. So for this first setup, where do I want to go here? So I think I want to go, let's start off with Harlequin and Armstrong. I think these two have some very good synergy with each other. And considering what else we will be going up against, kind of thinking about who would cover these weaknesses very well. You know what, Armstrong's very weak to fighting and ground, which Shanty would be able to handle very easily. So I think going with these three for our first round will be pretty good. Before showing you to the battle arena, you must save. Is that okay? Let's do this. So pretty much how I did things at the Battle Factory, my plan for this stream is we are going to do as many battles here as at the Battle Arena as I can in just under 2 hours. I feel like that would be a nice way to demonstrate this area and see if we can actually reach the Frontier Break. Your battle should be waged in the next room. Please step in. Trainer Haley, step forward, please. Trainer Lauren, step forward, please. Set KO tourney, begin! I'm old, but I'm also good. Good for you? So yeah, the Battle Arena. Level 60? What? Okay, I misremembered this quite a bit. Obviously, I got some grinding to do on my Pokemon before we actually... Well, we're already at a disadvantage here. At least this thing is an Elekid. So starting off here, let's go for the Sandstorm. So the set KO tourney here is pretty much exactly the same as how it was back in Folliver Town. And we all know how well that went for me. Basic rules are we have 3 turns to try to KO our opponent. If we're able to knock them out before the 3 turns are set, then we just proceed on to the next Pokemon. If 3 turns are up and your opponent has not been defeated, then your Pokemon will be judged on how they performed in the battle to see which one is deserving of moving on to the next round and which one will be eliminated. So, obviously, plan ahead, make sure your Pokemon synergize very nicely with each other, make sure they have very optimum moves, and be sure they are prepared to handle things like that. I'm hoping that Giga Drain here will be just enough to push us above Elekid in terms of health. Alright, so far we're doing good. I'm a little worried that Harlequin's paralyzed right now, but let's see what the judging has to say. Alright, so we're about tied when it comes to mind. Alright, we managed to beat him in terms of skill and body. That means Harlequin moves on to the next round. So yeah, that's pretty much how the set KO tourney goes. Just try to outdo your opponent in terms of damage, make sure you plan very nicely for this, and... oh boy, I was not expecting this. Definitely something I could have done earlier was actually try to practice this, but yeah. So my definite plan for future streams, given what this area has shown me, is that I am definitely going to have to train up my Pokemon so that we are at least level 60. It's like, I did not know that the lowest level for the open level round was 60. I really did not know this. That explains a lot. We still had the light screen up there. Okay, the score is even up now. Loudred's taking a bit of damage. I think we can be pretty good just going for the double edge. As long as this thing doesn't have coverage moves, we should be good. Alright, we managed to avoid that. It's very nice. So as we're just taking care of this first battle, what is some stuff to talk about right now? Well, one thing I can say is that things are a little interesting over at Artemew's bedroom right now, because I've actually gotten a new desk done, and it's definitely a new setup that will be very interesting for my gaming and all this stuff. I should be going for Earthquake here. This thing does not have Levitate, and I just really don't want to be missing attacks right now. So yeah, I got a brand new desk. It's a bamboo surface, and much wider than my old one, so I'm actually able to have everything on my desk at a very good position here. Like, my old one was kind of cramped, so my printer was just kind of hanging off the side a bit, which really not optimum. Alright, Armstrong's confused there, which is a little upsetting, but not too bad, because this is our final opponent here. Alright, we're tied when it comes to mind. We beat it out in terms of skill and body. There we go. And already things are better than it was back when we took on the set KO tourney back in Bolivar Town. The winner is Haley. So that is battle number 1. Much like in the Battle Factory, we have to win 7 battles in a row to finish a round. And of course, we will also receive battle points for clearing 7 battles. So yeah, this is basically how things are going to go for us. We're just going to do as many battles here as we can and see if we're able to do this. Dinnerman's a little concerning because it is poison type. So my basic strategy here is opening with Sandstorm on Harlequin. And then because of Harlequin's ability, well, I really appreciate that because you're boosting my special attack. Sandstorm is good because it will give Harlequin's evasiveness a nice boost, allowing us to avoid enemy attacks much easier. And also, it is good for just whittling down opponents a bit. So just in case we are going up against a very defensive opponent, we'll be able to handle them more easily. Yeah, Nidoran went down very easily, especially thanks to that flatter boost. Alright, Wingull, this should not be too bad. It is flying type, but Harlequin should do decent damage against it. Alright, go for the need. Okay, it's going for fly, that's a little concerning. Alright, if it's going for fly, then I'm probably gonna go for Giga Drain just so we can heal up the damage and get ready for the next opponent. Oh, it missed! Yep, that's Sand Veil in action for ya. Also helps that Fly doesn't really have the best accuracy to start with, so yeah, that's very good. And Wingull gets taken out very easily too. This is like the first battles of this round, so obviously the battles aren't going to be too intense right now, but they will get stronger as we go forward. Let's go for Feint Attack here. This other stuff that's been going on right now. Like I say, I haven't really been changing too much in terms of the games I've been playing. Mainly just been playing Animal Crossing, of course. But trying to get a bit more into Shield because I really want to try to get some good things with the Dynamax Adventures and Max Raid battles, but whatever reason, I haven't really had the best luck with that, and yeah, I would like to get in a bit more action in Shield, but I don't know. I guess one thing I could talk about that go on recently is, holy crap, Sephiroth is in Smash Brothers! Who could have seen that coming? Just what a fantastic reveal for this character. Alright, Natu, I'm not gonna go for the Sandstorm with you. Let's just knock you out with Feint Attack. But yeah, Sephiroth is in Smash Brothers! That is just amazing, and just for so many reasons, because like the representation of the Final Fantasy series in Smash Brothers has been very poor, all things considered. I mean, you got one character, a stage, and 2 music tracks back in the last game and for the most part of Ultimate, but goddamn did they deliver in Ultimate. Because not only do we have Sephiroth, one of the most famous and most well-known video game villains of all time, we got a bunch new music tracks, including remixes of Final Fantasy VII music, which is very much appreciated. I think that game has a great soundtrack, all things considered. The new stage is really good, and I would like to gush about it some more, but it does spoil some things for a certain game that I will be returning to next year, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, I am very, very happy that we got some more Final Fantasy rep in Smash. It's great. Sephiroth's are really cool to play as. All the new songs are great. The Mii Fighter costumes that we got in this update are all very good. It's like, I know a lot of people are salty that Gino is not a playable character and he's only a Mii Fighter costume, but I really don't mind. Sure, I am one of those people who would have liked Gino in Smash, but for the most part, I'm just fine with him being a costume alongside other characters, like Travis and stuff. It's just cool to see him represented, you know? And besides, he already had a really cool spirit battle in Ultimate anyway, so... yeah. See, I'm having a lot of fun with Smash Bros. Right now. Why did you have to skill swap me? At the very least, Feint Attack will help deal with... Actually, the Sandstorm should be going away. Yep, Sandstorm subsided, so Sand Veil really doesn't benefit you right now. Okay, if we can get the KO on you and not have to go into the judging, that'd be really neat. Nope. Alright, let's go to judging. Wow, Venonat beat me out in terms of skill. I mean, it did confuse me and trade my ability, so there's something. Nice work, buddy. So, yeah, it's been really fun playing Smash Brothers again lately, especially with my friends on Discord. I've had some interesting battles last night, and actually got to do some very cool matches, especially one very funny thing that I'm not really going to go into, but let's just say that one of my friends is a troll in the best possible way. So hey, what's some other stuff to discuss as we are just going through these battles? I guess I can say how my day has been, besides getting my new desk put in earlier today. I've just been mainly taking it easy right now, doing a little bit of work on some art that I've been meaning to do. Kind of in the process of designing this 1OC I've had an idea for a little bit, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what their reception is like once I get that posted to DA, and after I finish the art, obviously. And besides that, I went then out to Popeyes for lunch, because I hadn't been there in a while, and oh boy, just because I haven't been there for quite a few months, I forgotten how good the food is there. It's like I really freaking love the sandwich I got. Even though I ordered the spicy chicken sandwich and I just got the classic chicken sandwich, but it was fine. It was still really good. And I don't know, just the fries were good too. I didn't have ketchup with them, you know, but they were like seasoned enough that they were just like very good. Just, oh man, that was a good lunch. And then I got a bit of a walk-in and actually booted up Pokemon Go after such a long time. Yeah, imagine that, still playing Pokemon Go at this day and age. Alright, there goes the Sandstorm, but we should still be fine here. Yeah, it's been interesting getting back into Pokemon Go, because I have a route downtown that leads to some very good Pokestops, and just a very good area to gather up Pokemon and resources at. And very recently in Pokemon Go, they introduced Generation 6 Pokemon, which is really good. I feel it's a very underappreciated generation, all things considered. Kind of like the generation we're playing right now. And I didn't really get too much new Pokemon. They catch a few things that I was missing, and seeing this Dratini here reminds me of one thing that happened that I'm still kind of salty about. I'm not gonna go into it, because whatever. But another thing that happened that I was quite happy to get in Go is I was able to catch a Fennekin, which is nice. It's definitely one of those starters I do enjoy a whole lot. Just a very cute Pokemon, all things considered. Ow. I would really like to get this Sandstorm set up. I'm going for the Outrage there. That's a lot of damage. Oh man, am I gonna be beaten by a Dratini here? Yeah, we're low in health. We really didn't get that many moves in. Alright, with Tide of Mind, Skill, Body. That was a really bad move for Harlequin. I really should have led with that Sandstorm. I should not have tried to go for it afterwards. Ugh. Okay, Armstrong, let's take this thing out. Oh yeah, I was able to catch some new Pokemon in Go that I've been missing, and actually, I'm really feeling that urge to keep playing Go some more. Definitely sometime later. I do know that they have actually made updates to the game that makes it easier to play at home with the current pandemic situation, even though some people clearly don't act like there's a pandemic going on. Ugh. But yeah, it'll be interesting just booting up Pokemon Go whenever I want to see what I'm able to get. And no, I really haven't spent any money on the game itself. Like, it is one of those games where you make in-game purchases in order to benefit your playstyle, but it's something that I haven't done yet just because I don't want to spend money on this. Especially because the game I don't really commit to that strongly. I mean, for something like Pokemon Sword and Shield, when I buy the DLC in order to access more features, that's something that I actually am perfectly fine investing my money in. Alright, Armstrong did pretty good that fight, all things considered. We had kind of a bad situation at the start with Harlequin, but Armstrong really pulled through. Really proud of him. Alright, and our next battle will be our 6th opponent. We are almost done this round already. Alright, Peggy, see what you got, girl. Get ready to be destroyed. Ooh, confident much. See, I definitely have some trying to do for my team when we are done this session. I really was not expecting these guys to be at least level 60 going forward. It's gonna be interesting. This thing does get pin missing, but would it actually happen at this point? Went for headbutt of all things. Okay, let's get our health back with Giga Drain, and then we should be good. Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing some stronger Pokemon ahead as we get close to battle number 7. And another thing I definitely want to try doing in the future is I will be replaying the various battle facilities that I have challenged in between stream sessions, so I can try to build up my battle points and see if we can build up some more new things for my party, because it's definitely some things I want to get. There's a move that I've been really looking forward to getting for one of my Pokemon. It'll be a very good upgrade to their moveset. It'll definitely help in some future battles. The Skull's almost down here. Why did you disable my feint attack? That's a good move. Guess we'll just finish you off and then... Take that, Reaper! So yeah, besides that, speaking of Sephiroth and Smash, I have been replaying Final Fantasy VII on my Switch, and that just to kind of get reacquainted with the game before I jumpstart my stream sessions with that game again in the next year. And I've already passed the point where I left off in my stream sessions for that game, so it'll be very nice getting some exposure to these areas that I haven't really seen in a few years, and having them more fresh in my mind when we go into the later parts of the game in the streams. Alright, battle number 7. It's gonna be an interesting fight here. Show me that you're serious. What am I, Joker? Alright, Shizuka. He's got a Gligar, which is definitely an option. Definitely be more scared of this Pokemon in future games. It's really not gonna... I was going to say I'm not too terrified of this thing when it just frickin' does that. Yeah, I'm gonna set up the Sandstorm just to help evasiveness here. I don't really think it's good. What am I talking about? It has Aerial Ace! I just completely effed myself there. Okay, hopefully Armstrong can handle this thing. Gligar isn't really known for having ground moves in its moveset. So, hopefully we can have a good time here. It's going for Dig. Wow, things are already not in my favor right now. Oh, what was that? I forgot I have Quick Claw on Armstrong. Why does this keep happening to me? Alright, at the very least... Yeah, it just seems like there's nothing we can do. This Gligar has us beat here. So yeah, we weren't able to do anything to this Gligar. Armstrong's definitely getting knocked out this round. With Tide in mind, Gligar wins in skill and body. Man, that is just brutal. Sorry, buddy. At the very least, Shanty should be able to take out this Gligar. Just really not expecting this thing to be as big of a pain as it is. But yeah, that's why I definitely come prepared when you take on this area. It is quite challenging. Alright, Shanty should be able to knock it out here, but I don't think she can take out the 2 next Pokemon. Not with this much health. Absol. Yeah, I don't like my chances against this guy. Let's go with Fly, see if we can just avoid some damage for net. Oh, Future Sight. That's gonna be a pain. Let's go for Fly again just to avoid damage. But I'm really not liking my chances here. Yeah, we're just... Oh! Take that. Alright, so it all comes down to judging here whether we go forward. With Tide in mind, I win in skill and body. Huh. I was not expecting to actually win that. I guess because I didn't take much damage specifically to Absol. Alright, and our final opponent here is Giraffe Ring. So I think I'm just going to do the same thing I did against Absol. Just use Fly, avoid as much damage as I can, and just let the judging settle this battle. Yeah, there's no way I'm taking out Giraffe Ring. I'm just going to have to hang in there. Alright, go for Fly! I really don't like my chances of winning this. Alright, time to judge. And the outcome is... we are tied. We have a draw. In the event of a tie, both Pokemon get knocked out. Unfortunately, still counts as a loss for us. No, I do not want that. So that did not go as well as I was hoping it would. Alright, you guys can take a break then. Alright. Let's do Battle Arena again, just to see if we can have a better chance of this. And that was just brutal the way things go. That Gligar just freaking destroyed everything. It's gonna leave a Beetlejuice with this. Go Alexa, and let's let Jerk get some action. If this doesn't work out, I still got some Pokemon in the box that I could use for this. This will be interesting going forward. Alright, Sierra, what you got? Good for you. Alright, leading out the Pokemon that... honestly, we're not too equipped for. Spang's normal type, so Beetlejuice can't go at it with stab damage. So let's just go for the... really? Yeah, we'll just burn it with Will-O-Wisp and just try to whittle this thing down as much as we can. Really? I guess Assist there is an interesting move to use in these battles, especially since you're limited to only using 3 Pokemon. So I can see the use in that strategy there. Why would you use Follow Me? It's really not a good move in this situation. So yeah, in terms of other stuff that's been going on, I have been working a lot lately. Although, the next 2 weeks, things are much lighter for me, especially with the holidays, so I got that going for me at least. So yeah, definitely gonna be ample time for me to continue working on streams, whether it be grinding for battles or hopping into Sonic Mania for a bit. Because yeah, we're about halfway through the Knuckles run in that game, and I would definitely like to finish up that playthrough so that we can get into some parts of Mania that I actually don't have a lot of experience with. Because, yeah, I haven't actually gone into the DLC portion of that game, but it's definitely something I'm very interested in trying out, especially given what the game is like. In just the base form, it's a fantastic game. Very interested to see what the DLC brings to the experience. Because it is some very interesting stuff in it that is definitely worth talking about. Alright, Beetlejuice handled her very nicely. Of course. Speaking of Beetlejuice, actually, don't know if I talked about this in the previous stream session. Probably not, all things considered, but something very interesting that happened very recently is a hell of a boss got its 2nd episode, and oh man, it's so good. Like, it's like, especially compared to the pilot, just everything about it and the feels and stuff is just so good. And it's just so well animated too, and a specific character introduced in that episode is voiced by the same person and who plays Beetlejuice in the musical, Alex Brightman, and yeah, obviously I would fall in love with this character because of that, especially with their amazing design and stuff. I actually have drawn that character and posted art of them on my DeviantArt, which you can see in the link down there. Check it out. I make a lot of interesting artwork, mostly Pokemon, but there's some other stuff in there too. Okay, I think we are pretty good here. It definitely moves like Dig, Fly, and Protect can be really useful here, especially with the... Really, we got a mutual knockout here. Alright, we still have an advantage here. What? Oh, really not? Still the same number. Okay, we got the advantage here. Lexa can easily handle the Corphish. If you stop protecting, damn it! That's just kind of the way things go here. They just keep spamming these moves that just do nothing but irritate you and affect your ranking. Especially because you're limited to only being able to perform 3 actions in a battle. It can definitely be a little irritating. Speaking of irritation, another thing that I wanted to talk about lately is... So, a couple weeks ago, I got into Genshin Impact, and I think it's a very solid game, even with the gacha elements, which don't really bother me too much, all things considered, especially since I'm not spending any actual money on that. Although I feel very guilty about not spending money on the game, considering that the game is totally free, and it's just such a well-put-together game that I'm just like, why aren't I spending money on this at all? Just to kind of help support the developers and all that. But for a while, I've just not really been in the mood to play Genshin because I've been experiencing some weird issues with connecting to the servers that just, like, really slow down and just make the whole act of playing the game just a real slog when it comes to just the connection issues. I don't know if it's really something with my network or something, but it's been a real pain to deal with. And hopefully I want to say that I haven't been playing in a while, so hopefully it kind of resolved itself, but we'll just have to see. Definitely like to be jumping back into the game to test it out, but yeah. Also, I noticed because I've been leading with a ghost type here, and this trainer has 2 Pokemon that are both ghost types. That's the kind of being like, yeah, we're gonna try and take out your thing. It's kind of how the AI in these battles go, where they specifically try to throw Pokemon at you that, come on, Beetlejuice, just hit this thing already! I don't want you fainting to a Duskull because of I really don't want Beetlejuice to lose the referee judging here. Okay, good. Still able to knock it out. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get into Genshin again in the future. I'm holding no promises whether my connection problems with it are completely gone away, but we'll see. Right. Shouldn't have too much trouble against Beedrill here. It does a Pursuit, but that's going off of its less than good special attack, so I'm not too worried about that. I handled you pretty well. Where is it? I lost my sense! Did you check your pocket? You know, for his sense. I'm sorry, stupid. Alright, Peyton, what do you got here? I trained from the egg up. Ozzy, you're one of those people who just... You're one of those people who raise competitive Pokemon from the eggs and just dispose of the rest. Man, now they're throwing normal types at us, knowing that Beetlejuice can't use his superior stab moves against them. Screw you, game. And it's one that has a coverage move. Great. There's really nothing Beetlejuice can do, but just try to hold on there. And unfortunately, in this generation, Fate Attack is not going to be nerfed from Burn. So, yeah, we just kind of have to deal with this here. I guess I could go for Psychic just to try to get the special defense drop. But I don't know, just something about Thunderbolt having more power is kind of good to me here. I don't know. It's kind of... There's a lot of things I could change up about my strategies here, but hey, I'm not trying to take this too seriously. And this is the only time I'm really going to be streaming the battles at the Battle Arena, so whatever. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. Comes down to judging here. And oh, screw you. That's definitely going to affect my ranking. Let's see here. So, spin to win's mind, skill, body. That could have gone better. All that Spinda did was spam the same move 3 times. How is that better than anything we were trying with Beetlejuice? At the very least, Alexa can KO this thing, and then we'll have a fresh start against the next opponent. Alright, Tentacle. Actually going easy on me now. Don't know how I feel about that. Next opponent is Nidorino. We should not have too much trouble against this thing. I must say that Nidorino sprite is interesting. It is a cool pose, but just something about the way the sprite is structured to me, it's kind of off for whatever reason. Fun fact, Nidorino is actually one of the earliest Pokemon that was ever designed. Okay, please take this thing out. Are we really gonna go into judging from this? Yes, we are, aren't we? Alright, we're better in mind. Lost skill, but body takes it. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not really a fan of the set KO rules. Which should be very obvious considering how things went when we were at Foliber Town. I don't know, it's an interesting rule, all set all things considered, specifically about trying to perform better than your opponent in a limited number of turns. But yeah, for whatever reason, it really doesn't click with me as much as some other battle formats. Alright, Danella, what do we got here? Tyro. That'll be no problem at all for Beetlejuice. I mean, this thing doesn't even naturally learn any moves that can affect Beetlejuice, since it's only attacking moves by level up or normal and fighting. Next opponent's an Electrike. That's really not too bad. Man, the game is just going easy on me now. Thunder Wave is a pain there. I guess something else I could talk about involving Battle Frontier is that many of the players, when they try to take on the battle facilities like the Battle Frontier, all these optional areas, there is a very common stance that people have about these facilities, in that the AI in this area cheats. Mainly when it comes to the accuracy of moves and with the likeliness of added effects occurring on your Pokemon's moves. Man, Slackoff is really bad in this format since it only is able to perform 2 actions. Oh, we actually got the special defense drop there. Not like it matters since this thing is going to be... it does have leftovers. Will the burn be enough to take it out? Yes, it is. Alright, so Beetlejuice had a pretty easy time in that fight. Good riddance. But yeah, a lot of players, when they take on these facilities, and they usually come out of it saying that the AI cheats, because for whatever reason, when it comes to either the accuracy of attacks or the chances of an added effect going off, it's almost always in the favor of the AI and never in the player. And I can definitely see that. I've had instances of that in quite a few of these facilities back in the day. I don't really take on these areas too much nowadays. I really haven't done much at the battle tree in Gen 7, and I haven't even been to the battle tower in Gen 8, so yeah. And I really don't dive into like the whole competitive scene in Pokemon anyway. I'm a very casual player, all things considered. I mean, just look at the team I'm using. I'm using a Pelipper and a Cacturn. That's as casual as you get. Oh, hey, Larvitar. An interesting Pokemon to see here. Alright, snapped out of confusion. That's good. So luck is in our favor there. But yeah, that's just kind of a way that people feel about all the battle facilities in this series. I must say, I have been having a decent time, all things considered, here. Especially considering that my Pokemon are very underleveled for these fights. Oh, this Onix going for Sandstorm strats here. Luckily, I don't have to worry about the special defense buff that Rock types get in Sandstorm here. Although I still don't know if that is a thing in Gen 3. I'm actually going to have to look that up sometime, just so I know that. Because that's kind of one of the things I've been wondering about, especially with the combination of me using Harlequin and Armstrong in some fights. Because the Sandstorm strat's really good on Harlequin at boosting her evasiveness, and it's also pretty good with Armstrong in that he does not take damage from the Sandstorm. But I just can't remember when Rock types got the special defense buff from Sandstorm. Because I can tell you in recent games, that special defense buff has helped my team so much in a lot of fights. So I've actually done a Nuzlocke run on Pokemon Shield, and one of my Pokemon in that challenge was a Gigalef, which is great because it's easily one of my favorite Pokemon, and more than that, it naturally gets an ability that triggers Sandstorm. And it being a Rock type, that means it is guaranteed to have a special defense buff at the start of every battle, just making it incredibly defensive on both sides and just making it able to weather so much damage. So yeah, that challenge just made me fall in love with Gigalef all over again, and I couldn't be happier. It's a fantastic Pokemon. Let's go for... I really don't want you to use Protect there, buddy. There's really not much I can do against this thing here. Just try to Will-O-Wisp. Really? I'm going to lose to this thing just because of... I'm gonna lose to this thing just because I'm judging, aren't I? At the very least, it's burned. We literally did no damage to each... We didn't do any direct damage to each other. It's gonna come down to judging. Mind is tied. Skill is tied. We managed to beat it in body. Look at that. That would have been embarrassing if we got a draw from that. Alright, our next opponent is Dragonair. Okay, really don't feel like Will-O-Wisping. Might I go for Thunderbolts? Alright, hopefully that doesn't... Alright, not like it matters now, because it's going for Safeguard, so I can't even afflict it with status ailments. Well, let's just go with Shadow Ball, see if we can take this thing out. Oh yeah, another one of those and we're good. Okay, that's fine. The Thunderbolt was totally planned so we can soften it up. And there we go! 7 battles in a row. We congratulate you for your splendid string of wins over 7 trainers. My dear challenger, in recognition of your indefatigable spirit, please accept these battle points. We get 1 battle point from clearing those battles. Just to reiterate, when we went to the battle factory, we got 3 battle points per 7 battles. So yeah, this place definitely isn't lucrative for building up battle points. Really wouldn't recommend it. With that said, however, how about we go for another series of battles here? Alright, time to move forward with this challenge. Yeah, Jerk didn't get to see any action in the previous round, so let's add him to this. We're going to be going with Harlequin and Armstrong just like last time. I really like the synergy that this team has, so let's just go for it. It's like, I know I kind of spent a lot of time training up a Salamence in order to use these facilities, and I'm not using it right now, but we'll see. I want to at least get to show off every member of my main team at this facility before I start bringing out, like, the Pokemon I'm specifically raising for these facilities. Just to kind of help me out in a lot of battles. Alright, Hitomi, leading on with Sudowoodo. Things are definitely going to get tougher for us going forward. Alright, let's go for Needle Arm. Yeah, I can see myself outspeeding this thing. Sudowoodo really isn't too fast. Alright, it's setting up Sandstorm this time. You do realize that only benefits me, right? I mean, this is a good opportunity to actually see if the special defense buff is in this generation. Or not! Because we score a critical hit against it. Good work, Harlequin. Oh, next opponent's Combuskin. Okay. Yeah, really not a whole lot Harlequin can do this thing. And we can't switch out. Just go to Giga Drain, try to do what we can to this thing. I was actually wondering if we were going to be outsped by this thing, but I guess not. Okay, if it's doing Sand Attack, let's go to Feint Attack just so we don't have to deal with accuracy. Yeah, given the current damage right now, I can actually see myself being able to knocking out this thing. Again, this really depends on the moves used, and yeah, no. Even a 40 base power move was able to just destroy us there. This is going to be interesting. Armstrong is weak to fighting, which this Combuskin is. But if we are able to score at least 1 Earthquake, we got this, and we outspeed. We do have the Quick Claw on Armstrong, so I think that might have actually saved him there. I really don't know if an Aggron would have been able to outspeed a Combuskin. And next opponent is Shelgon. I guess actually a situation where teaching Armstrong and Dragon Claw would actually be effective. But I think we're plenty good for dealing with this thing. It does have Protect, which is kind of annoying, but we can still handle it. No matter what the outcome here, we're still pretty good for this. Alright, actually didn't go for Protect there, which is interesting. Scary Face, really? You just weren't even trying there, were you? Alright, we beat that Shelgon and everything. Get screwed, buddy. I'm so sorry! Thanks for that. Alright, second opponent of this round. What do we got? Now the game actually has experience fighting this particular team. What are things going to be like? Kindler. That's a good sign when I'm sending out my... That's definitely a good sign for my... Okay, at the very least, we have a chance of avoiding damage with Sandstorm. Don't like the look of that metal sound. Although, the only real special moves Magma gets are electric, which don't do a whole lot to Harlequin anyway, so... It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. Alright, let's go with Giga Drain just so we can try to... Alright, that actually wasn't... Alright, that was something. Yeah, let's just go with Giga Drain again just to make sure that I'm all healed up for things. So I guess something I can talk about... What am I saying here? Blech. Something that I've been meaning to talk about for a little bit is the future of Pokemon playthroughs on this channel, because I really don't have a way to record any other generation of Pokemon other than these ones I am able to get, because, spoilers, these are emulated. Don't tell Nintendo, I don't want to be cancelled. Oh, hi, Magby. You're a cutie. Let's go with Feint Attack. Whoop, that Fire Punch is going to hurt. Yeah. Not knocked out by a baby. Although, to be fair, we are lower level. So yeah, the future of Pokemon games on this channel is going to be interesting. I mean, I know some things I can do that would be interesting and not just be repeats of the previous playthroughs I've done, just with new teams. But yeah, one thing I want to do is kind of dive into new Pokemon fan games, which I had previously done on this channel in the past before. I actually have some archives of from when I did Pokemon Insurgents, which was a Pokemon fan game being created with the RPG Maker tools, and it was interesting playing that game. I never actually got to finish it because my frickin' computer got busted and I lost all my save files, and no way I'm playing up to... what was it? I think I was on 6 gems when I last left off, so... Yeah, I definitely don't want to replay all of that and try to rebuild the team that I had before. Although I did really grow attached to the Pokemon I was using in that playthrough. It's kind of sad that things really didn't work out for me in the end. Alright, for you. Let's go for Sandstorm again. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Lickitung. It does learn some interesting moves, but really isn't all that strong. It has Brick Break. Okay, I know I outspeed this thing, so... Yeah, just... That really shows you. Sand Veil is really good here. I can definitely recommend that for a lot of strats. Look at that! It missed twice with Brick Break! Oh, Harlequin, I love you, girl! But yeah, besides Pokemon fan games, I would like to replay a Leaf Green, Gold, and Emerald a few more times, but with a few new additions when it comes to rules and also just how the structure of the game is actually done. I'll go more into that in the future, but let's just say that I've had quite a bit of experience with Nuzlocke runs and with randomizers, so I'm looking forward to trying some stuff with these games sometime in the future. We'll see how it all goes, but yeah. Alright, Pupitar. This thing I can recover health pretty easily. Or can use dig, that's fine too. It's not really gonna do a whole lot of damage though. Especially because we are... Yep, it frickin' missed me. I love you, Sandvale. I know I didn't use this strategy a whole lot in the main playthrough because I mainly go for damage. But yeah, and strategies like this really work in the Battle Frontier facilities. It's definitely why I like building my team this way. Everything's coming together here. And last opponent is Grovyle. A Pokemon that we actually didn't get to see in the main story of this game because, for whatever reason, no NPC in the main story other than your rival gets to use a starter Pokemon. Like, what? I know there's some generations where they actually do who give starters to normal NPCs. We saw a lot of that in Gen 1 and Gen 2, and Gen 4 is pretty good about that too. Especially because in those games, you're required to have seen every Pokemon in that region's Pokedex in order to be able to access a lot of features in the post-game, which is an interesting thing about Gen 4 that I don't really get to see talked about in a positive light. I do like it, though. It definitely adds a lot of incentive into playing through the game and getting to experience as much of the game as you can. Which, again, I really appreciate. Alright, we're able to handle you pretty nicely. Next opponent here. Who they gonna be? Our fourth opponent. Alright, Evan, let's see what you got. Every battle has a smell. Good for you. Well, I know what this guy's fetish is. Bonita! Harlequin's not gonna be good against this thing. At the very least, let's go for Sandstorm. Hello there, Zachary! Welcome to the stream. I just want to say, there's very interesting seeing that Ponyta use that particular move, because... yeah, it's really not an attack I expect to see from this thing a whole lot, even though, yeah, it is pretty helpful. Harlequin just being barely able to hang on there, but hopefully we can handle this thing. Yeah, I really don't see Harlequin being able to take out this Ponyta. We got too much damage done to it, and yeah, it's just gonna finish me with a quick attack. Figures. Alright, Armstrong. Yeah, it is kind of a weird move. I really love having Quick Claw on frickin' Armstrong, because, yeah, just being able to outspeed these things is so good. Also, bye, Ponyta. Bayleaf! I didn't really get to see too much of this thing. Well, at least in this game, I did use a Bayleaf for a bit in my gold stream. Back before it evolved into Meganium, it was just so goddamn good. Ooh, a lot of damage there with that. Yeah, it's really shaming. So not only did it get a crit, but I also missed my attack. That's just... ugh. At the very least, this Bailey about to get jerked. I know what I said. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Also, Jerk's debut in the Battle Arena, and only... I have a history with this particular Pokemon in this playthrough. Gonna use Bulk up here to make sure that we are strong enough to handle what this thing is packing. Okay, we were just barely able to avoid going over half health, but I'm really not looking forward to seeing how my speed is here. Okay, we still outspeed it. That's nice. Oh, just barely able to get the KO. And I know for a fact that this thing is probably going to outspeed us now and completely ruin our streak. There's really nothing we can do but pray. So that's the second time in this entire Emerald playthrough that I've been fucked by a Mars Tom. That is just so demotivating. It's like, I know I said earlier that I was going to try to challenge the battle arena as much as I could during this session, but that's just so demotivating. I have to start all over just to try to build up my... my winning streak again. And the battle points you win here just aren't worth it. Battle Factory's much more lucrative than this area. So I think what I can do just for the next couple of minutes of this stream, yeah, I'm probably going to call things early, but I guess one thing I can do is head over to Mauville City and just check how things have... Hey, buddy. Yeah, Stevani should be doing fine. They're all by themselves. And hopefully gaining some nice levels with me walking around all this time. So I guess what we can do for the next couple of minutes is I'm heading out here into Route 117 just so that I can see if I can encounter a certain Pokemon that I have not run into yet, but it's definitely one that I would like to see before the end of this playthrough. Who knows, it may happen eventually, it may not, but... Yes, Zach! I'm here specifically for Ilamise. But yeah, I know that there's quite a few different things you can do to try to encounter this thing, and it's mainly something that you're just supposed to run into while you're kind of going around trying to discover new things in the region. Probably check things out that you haven't seen before, or going back to old areas in order to see what you can now find in the post-game, but yeah, I'm just trying to see what I can do. Yeah, I know I have encountered it while surfing one time. Specifically here at Route 117. Why am I here? I don't know, it's just kind of, the grass is very close to the town, and just going in and out of it very quickly is a good chance of getting things here. Yeah, I definitely remember trying to get one of those was something back when I did Leaf Green. Actually, I had a pretty decent time of it, all things considered. Yeah, if we can actually get this thing to appear on screen, that'd be pretty good. Because, yeah, I still haven't run into this thing. There have been quite a few times where off-stream I would be revisiting areas in order to challenge just any trainers who want to have a rematch, just so I can help boost my Pokemon's levels. And that especially helped when I was training up my Shelgon in order to get it evolved for some of the battles we'll be having in the Battle Frontier. Obviously in the future, because I'm just completely done with Battle Arena. It doesn't help that I really don't like the set KO battle format, where you're just completely screwed over, because you can't switch out. You're stuck with only being able to use 3 actions in order to try to win the match, and if luck's not on your side, you can just get completely eliminated very easily. Yeah, we'll see, man. I still haven't encountered one of those in this game yet. Speaking of that, I was actually able to find a shiny Eevee when I was playing Pokemon Go today, which was very nice. Oh, look at that! Volbeat here, it's a very rare encounter on this route. You do not normally encounter this thing, because it's so much rarer than Elamise. Why not? Armstrong, kill it like the rest. Yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of those. But yeah, whether we run into this thing or another thing that'd be really good, who knows? Not talking about anything right now, but it's kind of said everything I really wanted to say during today's session at the battle arena, and eventually it just boiled down to me just commentating on the events that were going on in the battle, and we all know how that went. Frickin' Marshtomp. I can't believe that Marshtomp has just been this recurring threat all throughout this playthrough. It completely wiped us back on Route 110, and then it killed my freaking battle arena streak that I was having. Since we're obviously not going to get to see the Frontier Brain during this session or any future sessions in Emerald, I will state right now that I'll just say it, the Frontier Brain we would have encountered at the battle arena, her name is Greta, and all things considered, she's kind of forgettable, all things considered, especially compared to other characters, especially those at the Battle Frontier, because there's definitely some pretty remarkable people that you can run into at these facilities, especially in terms of design, and oh boy, will I have things to say about some of them if I actually get to challenge them. Oh, really? That must have been a pretty terrible experience there. I know I could be fighting the wild Pokemon here, but at this point, with our Pokemon being so high-leveled, the experience really isn't worth it. I'm much better getting experience by refining trainers, or taking on the Pokemon League a couple more times in order to not only build up experience, but also money, because, yeah, taking on the Pokemon League a couple more times is a good way to build up experience and money for your team. It's definitely something I can recommend. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, boy. Yeah, That's definitely not a Pokemon that I can see me having a lot of trouble with. Although it does get quite a few... There is some things that it is able to use. Like, it does get some status moves that can be really painful to deal with. Oh yeah, that's just really painful. Especially it doesn't help that ice does not resist grass for some reason. And come on, why does ice just not have very good resistances? It only resists itself. When there are tons of times where it would make sense for it to have some good, solid defenses against. Hey, Tony. Thanks for that, buddy. Yeah, I'll probably see if I can rematch a few more trainers after the session. I know Isaac wanted a rematch when I checked the thing earlier, and I'll see about getting some more experience with him, especially for one of my Pokemon I have in daycare. Yeah, kind of spoilers for the future here, but I am training up my Beldum Stefani to see if we can get them some action at the Battle Frontier facilities. I know it's going to be a long and arduous journey, but at the very least we're not going to need as many levels for what Stefani's final form is compared to Salaman's. Although, given how things are, I probably will be training it to level 50 anyway, just so we can do the level 50 battle format. Cause yeah, it's definitely a challenge doing open level when the lowest level the opponents get is level 60. That is just... not expecting that. I was really certain it would be like other battle facilities where your opponent would be the same level as the highest level member of your team. But the lowest level that those guys in the Battle Frontier appear as is level 60, and that completely threw off my groove so much. And if my team was actually higher leveled, we probably wouldn't have had that much trouble, especially against that freaking... against that Marshtomp. I know I'm so salty about this thing, but there's a reason I drew fan art of my team just looking completely white with a Marshtomp looming over them in the background. It's because that friggin' battle on Route 110 just really soured my mood, especially for a Pokemon I actually really like. I know it's doofy looking, but I really grew attached to this Pokemon when I was drawing up my Emerald Nuzlocke comic back in the day. They're just a very solid character, and I really liked the way that I interpreted Marshtomp's design when I was doing that. But yeah, a lot of feelings with this Pokemon have been soured from this Emerald playthrough, which kind of depressing, but that's just the way things go sometimes. I will say the last couple battles really did improve a lot of my thoughts with Cacturne, just because I'm not used to using the Sandveil strategy with it. But she really pulled through in quite a few battles. It's a shame things had to turn out like they did, but yeah, it's just the way things go. You can try as hard as you like. Yeah, its moveset really isn't anything special this generation, but not really here to talk about that, at least during this session. Yeah, definitely something I want to try doing is get in some more battles at the Battle Factory, try to build up our battle point total, and see if we can get some improvements on our team's moves, because there is one particular move I'm looking forward to getting from the move tubes. It's definitely a move I got to see quite a lot of use out of back in my Leaf Green playthrough, especially considering one of my team members and how they were built. So yeah, if I actually have the opportunity to do that, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'm well aware of that, Starman. I know that things of the stream session have kind of taken a very dour direction as of late. I mean, I try to be a very positive person when I am doing things, and I really try not to hold anything too personally, but yeah, just for whatever reason, just having a lot of bad luck against certain Pokemon, and oh boy, do they lead to some interesting moments. But yeah, it'll be pretty good just to take a break from this game and probably jump back into some more Final Fantasy VII when I get the chance. I've still got some more progress to make on my personal file of that game. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're just not having a whole lot of luck getting this Pokemon to appear. Let's probably go a few more minutes before we call it. Yeah, I know this is just gripping gameplay here, but I really have nothing better to do. I do not want to challenge the battle arena again. My opinion of that place has just been really shot lately. Hopefully things do go better in the other battle facilities, especially once I train up my Pokemon more. And hey, I got plenty of days off in the future that I can look forward to streaming then. And hopefully my team will be looking much more pretty for those fights. Yeah, just really not having much luck here. Like, I know one of my plans for future stream sessions is try to encounter this thing in... That is an interesting strategy there. Yeah, if I'm unable to encounter this thing in my live sessions, definitely one thing I will try is when I am just kind of going around training my team in various areas, just see if I am able to encounter this thing along those routes, so that I have a much easier opportunity to actually track this thing, and then I'll set things up so that we can go about catching this thing in the future. But for the time being, I think we are about done here. And all this walking we're doing, how is Stefani doing in terms of levels? Oh, she was level 13 when I put her in last time, so that means that they are level 17. That's pretty good. definitely getting up there. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for tonight's session. I know it's kind of a short one, but I just had all my motivation shot at the battle arena. So next time on Pokémon Emerald, if things go well, we'll be testing our talent at the Battle Dome. Until next time, have a good night and take care.